Welcome to the Publix family. We want to welcome you and thank you for coming to Publix to serve our communities during this challenging time. Today, you're receiving a shortened version of our orientation training. In this training, we'll be covering some policy details that you need to know before you begin working with us. And you'll be learning about resources that will help you answer questions about your new job. Remember to fill out your student worksheet along the way as you watch this video and your safety video. You'll need to turn this in when you report back to your location. Typically, when you start with Publix, you'd receive a class called Welcome to the Publix Family. In this class, you'd learn about our company and our culture. Because of the current environment and the need to get product to our stores, you'll receive this orientation class later. Until then, you'll receive instructions on how to access resources about Publix, your new family, our mission, and our culture. When you set up your Passport account, you'll receive a welcome message with links to the resources. Passport is our internal site that contains associate and company information. So, let's get started. The first topic we'll be discussing is your Associate Handbook. The Associate Handbook contains some of the policies, practices, and benefits of Publix. It shows you what Publix expects of you as an associate. You'll be able to access this great resource on Passport. Even though today we're only going to cover a few key policies, it's important that you read the entire handbook so that you understand everything that's expected of you. Once the current situation slows down, we'll conduct a full policy class with you. Please review your Associate Handbook in the meantime once you have access to Passport. As the worldwide response to coronavirus or COVID-19 evolves, Publix is assessing the situation daily. We're evaluating ways to reduce associates' risk of becoming ill or exposing others to the virus. As part of our family, we care about you. Your health and safety are our top priority. Let's go over some helpful information related to preventing the spread of the virus. You should wash your hands often with soap and water, including after coughing or sneezing. The recommended time for washing your hands is for at least 20 seconds. 20 seconds is the amount of time it takes you to sing Happy Birthday twice. Make sure to use the soaps and sanitizers provided by Publix. You should avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth as germs spread this way. You should cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze and throw it away after you use it. If you don't have a tissue, sneeze into your elbow rather than your hand. You should avoid close contact with people who are sick. You should clean and disinfect all high-touch surfaces before using them. The high-touch surfaces include counters, tabletops, doorknobs, bathroom fixtures, toilets, phones, keyboards, tablets, and break room tables. When at work, you must use a Publix-approved cleaning spray or wipe. You'll want to follow the instructions on the label. If your facility has specific requirements, your manager will let you know. And if you choose to travel while working for Publix, then consider the CDC and State Department travel guidance related to the coronavirus. This is a dynamic situation, and U.S. citizens traveling may be impacted by restrictions. This may include being subject to quarantine procedures implemented by the local authorities. You can learn the most updated travel guidance for nations and regions that have been impacted by COVID-19 by visiting travel.state.gov. Also, for information on Publix's current travel requirements, you should go to Passport. So, what happens if you feel you've been exposed to or have coronavirus? You should let your manager know immediately before reporting to work. Your manager will explain the next steps you need to take. Also, you must stay home from work if you have any cold-like symptoms, including a fever. A fever is considered a temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit or greater. When you were hired, you should have received a copy of the Industrial Operations Quick Reference Guide. This guide provides an overview of our progressive discipline policy for industrial operations. It covers our discipline policies for attendance, punctuality, and time records errors. Currently, due to the coronavirus, we're not enforcing discipline for the items covered in this guide, except for no calls, no shows. We'll let you know when we begin enforcing the rest of the policies again. As for the part we're enforcing, let's define a no-call, no-show. It is when you're absent and didn't let your manager know you'd be absent before the end of your shift. It's important that you be dependable, especially now as we're working so hard to meet our customers' needs in this uncertain time. If you're absent or tardy, another associate must cover your shift or your duties. Absences and tardies can also delay the work of others. If you're ill and can't work or are going to be late, it's your responsibility to telephone a manager before you're scheduled to report to work each day or as soon as reasonably possible. You should make this call personally, not rely on someone else to do it for you. Be sure to follow any call-in procedures for your specific area. Another policy we need to discuss is the rules of unacceptable conduct. Publix has adopted these rules to provide guidance about what is and what isn't acceptable behavior at Publix. Once you have access to Passport, you can find these rules in your associate handbook. Some examples of behaviors that Publix considers unacceptable are dishonesty, fighting, refusing to comply with instructions, violating established rules and practices, having excessive tardies or absences, and treating others inappropriately. You're expected to comply with these rules, and violating any of them could result in disciplinary action or even discharge. As a company, Publix generally believes in coaching and counseling associates to improve their performance or behavior. However, in some circumstances, these behaviors could result in discharge without prior coaching, counseling, or warnings. For this reason, it's very important that you read the rules of unacceptable conduct in your associate handbook on Passport. The last topic we'll talk about today are our security policies. Everyone at Publix is responsible for keeping our facilities secure. For your safety, the safety of your peers, and the safety of our customers, it is your responsibility to never let anyone in the building who doesn't have proper identification. If a person doesn't have identification, you should send them to reception. Let's talk about some other guidelines to keep our facilities secure. At this time, due to the current situation, personal visits with associates are limited to only those that are necessary. Personal guests are prohibited from entering the building at all. All guests will be screened by Publix security. One of our responsibilities as associates and company owners is to protect our Publix resources. This means we cannot claim ownership to Publix property, including damaged or out-of-date merchandise, broken or used equipment and supplies, sample items provided by vendors, and empty containers or boxes. As a rule of thumb, associates shouldn't take anything when they leave that they didn't bring with them, even if it's an empty cardboard box. If an associate wants to take an item home, they must talk to their manager to get written permission before leaving the property. Congratulations! You're ready now for the next step in your new job. We thank you again for joining us during this challenging time to serve our communities and customers. We're proud to have you as part of our Publix family. If you have any policy questions once you have access to Passport, please be sure to talk to your manager. Don't forget, once you're finished with this video and your safety video, you need to take your completed worksheet with you to turn it in when you report back to your location.